Welcome to Company Showcase, an advertising feature on HowStreet.com.
I'm Jim Goddard. I'm speaking with Larry Reaugh, CEO and President of American Manganese. Best of the season, Larry.
Best of the season to you, Jim, and we'll probably talk again before the Christmas.
Yes, when Santa brings you his lump of coal for you. Larry, you're making headlines, and for once, you're making headlines for all the right reasons.
Well, Jim, that's been a long, hard chore to get the company front and center, but it's finally there, and we're feeling very satisfied about that. And we've got so much activity happening in all that regard that it's very gratifying for the people that are working for the company and the people at Cometco. And just before I go on that, I would like to say that I know I said I'd have a press release out this week, but I didn't get enough information to do one. And we had several meetings, one-on-one meetings and everything this week, and the time just went through. But getting back to the headlines, and not necessarily where we're in them all the time, but the one that I really like was the lithium-ion battery recycling market worth $23.72 billion U.S. by 2030. Now that's a lot of money, and if we were to get a portion of that, even if it was only 10%, that's a big business. And by 2030. So I see a definite future. When I was at the battery conference in Lisbon, they were talking about recycling being 15 years away. Now they are actually much more positive and talking about getting something going right away within the next 2 years, which just kind of fits our pistol. Because, at that time, we may be up and operating on a commercial basis. And that is really the ultimate goal of the company. Now, recycling, we're not considered a recycler yet because we're not recycling. We've got patent-pending technology that tells us we can get 100% of the cathode materials back. But the recyclers out there, we don't know what they're getting back, but most of it's burning. The ones that get all the headlines right now, like Umicore and even Glencore, they're all talking about being the recyclers of today. But, they're only getting fractions of the metals back, and most of the time it's just a cobalt, maybe 50%, 60%. And we, on the other hand, are saying, hey, take a look at us. I mean, we've got a solution here that is totally environmentally friendly, and it's totally closed loop, and we'll put nothing back into the environment, and we'll take every dollar off the table or value off the table from what we get to recycle. So that makes us different. And I was just talking to Cometco. They figured we got a couple of years on everybody else. And that suits us just fine. And, I'm not sure if that's an accurate appraisal, but it's pretty hard to judge where you sit with your competitors out there when they don't come across with recoveries. And recoveries are important. If you only get an 80% recovery, it's not a total solution. So I couldn't be more optimistic about the coming year. The company has been trading good volumes ever since we got the Bloomberg article, and we're base building here in around the 30-cent range. We're starting to pick up some volumes in Germany, which we never had before on the Frankfurt Exchange. One day we had 570,000 shares trade over there. So, the company is starting to get talked about. This week, I even had a recycler that's got 6 or 7 plants around the lower mainland here come in and spend a couple hours with me wondering how maybe perhaps some synergies could work, such as they gather batteries and everything like that. There could be some definite synergies there. But what I'd like to point out is that if when we do have a 100% solution, that would be to the battery manufacturers' benefit to do business with us, not send it to a recycle yard where, it's out of sight, out of mind. But the fact of the matter is, if it's being burnt, it's not solving, it's not adding to the clean environment, and it's taken away from it. So we want to be able to add to the bottom line when it comes to environment, and that's exactly what's happening here. And you'll see next year is going to be a very busy year for the company. And this year we might have a couple of releases coming out, but it's next year that we're getting all geared up for hopefully getting really into gear in say early February. So get that pilot plant going. And everything is much smaller scale, Jim, when even the pilot plant's going to be a lot smaller scale. Some people will remember the pilot plant we built for the manganese ore, and this thing will be about, 20% of that size, maybe. Not 20%, maybe I should say 4 or 5% of that size. So, because you're working with 100% material, you're not working with 2% material, so you don't have this gigantic flow of material going through the system in order to get out a pound of metal at the end of the day. If we got 20 pounds going through, we'll get 20 pounds of metal at the end of the day. And that's just a total different scenario for us. And of course, you can understand that capital costs and OPEX costs will go down similarly. So it looks like 2017 is going to close out as a great year for the company and a great year for the shareholders. We started out a little over a year ago with a market cap of $2 million. We're at $45 million today. And, certainly people that got in at the bottom and certainly people that held their stock are feeling a lot better about their investment today than they were a year and a half ago. And, I'm going to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I think that we can look forward to a very hot year next year, especially since recycling will become as much talked about as cobalt.
Larry, the price of cobalt has been skyrocketing. Is it important that people know there's an alternative source, recovered cobalt?
Well, yes, it's very important, and this is what some of these articles are picking up on. And cobalt, hit $75,000 a ton the other day. Don't forget, we started out around $25,000 a ton a year ago. So that is very significant to the future of companies that are involved in that aspect, whether they're miners, recyclers. Anybody involved in getting cobalt to the market is going to benefit.
And Larry, for new listeners, perhaps just outline what American Manganese does.
American Manganese is a critical metal company that developed a patented proprietary process for taking low-grade ores of manganese, 2 to 3%, and being able to produce electrolytic manganese metal and electrolytic manganese dioxide for the batteries at a similar cost to China. And, so that was a breakthrough technology, very disruptive at the time. It was something that the U.S. worked on for 80 years and could never quite get there. And but Chemetco broke the back on that one and got us there. And with Chemetco's guidance, that's why we're in the recycling business. Now, American Manganese has a website out there that's AmericanManganeseInc.com, where you can follow what the company's been doing for the last couple of years, and you can get a hold of me at Reaugh, R-E-A-U-G-H, at amymn.com, and or phone me at 778-574-4444.
Larry, where are you traded and under what symbols?
We're traded on the Toronto Venture Exchange under the symbol AMY. We're traded in the U.S. under the symbol AMYZF. And we're traded on the Frankfurt Exchange under the symbol 2AM.
Larry, thanks for the update.
You're welcome, Jim.
We've been speaking with Larry Reaugh, CEO and President of American Manganese. I'm Jim Goddard. We were speaking on December 15th.
Comments made on Company Showcase are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at HowStreet.com. Company Showcase is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.